Hello, good afternoon everyone. It's Saturday afternoon here in Italy, and it's been a busy week, so I couldn't really stream during the week. I've been traveling a bit and busy with work, so I couldn't really dedicate too much time, but I can do it today. And what we're gonna do is something that we started to discuss within the development team, and basically the ability to apply specific symbols or anyway additional textures to an object. For example, applying a symbol to a shield or to an armor, a piece of armor. So yeah, the idea is that we need an easy way to apply symbols to items, and actually Unreal Engine has some functionality really dedicated to that, which is called Decals. Now I don't know exactly how it's pronounced in English. Decals. I can check. Something like
Decal.
Okay. No, in English, sorry.
Decal.
Decal. Okay. Which is basically the way to basically a way to put new textures on top of other textures. Now the official documentation is this one, and you can use it in different way. For example, if you have a shooting game and a character gets damaged, you could splash some blood, on his armor, or you can splash some blood on the ground, right? Or I don't know, if it's raining and you want the floor to become more wet or more or have some stains, then you can do it as well and do it like this. So there are different applicabilities. So for us, let's say it will be a way to put symbols, and at the moment I'm thinking so let's start a new mission. By the way, let's start a new mission. This mission will be called this way, Unreal Engine. Let me just check if I do it like this. No, Unreal Mission Decals. So the thing that we need to do, well, first of all, I never did it personally in Unreal. So if any of you that is watching the stream as a Lots Way has some information or did it already, please let me know, or you can just message me or write a comment below in the video, so that I can I can maybe move a bit quicker. So our mission will be first of all to learn about how decals are working in Unreal. So so I would say to an object. So I would say we will follow a tutorial and we will try to see how to apply a decal to an object, and I think it will be pretty easy. Again, we can follow the guide here and we can just try to apply it. Then the second thing will be to define how we want to use decals in plane shift. Okay, so that is a bit more specific to us, and actually I want to think which are the different domains in which we want to apply it. Like, do we want to have a symbol for your religion, being Talad or Lanks. Do you want to have a symbol for a specific guild? Do you want to have a symbol based on, I don't know, your ability or your mastery in a specific skill or things like that? So we have to think 360 degrees and try to see if what is the applicability. Then I think I would like to do a test with some. No, then I think the other thing is how the player will add the decal. So we have to think if it's something that is predefined, like is a predefined position or custom, meaning that players can put a decal wherever they want, moving it with their mouse on the surface of an item. It is something that you have to think about, and obviously it could be nice, but it can also be a bit messy, so not look really nice. And this will include, let's say, scaling, right? So we may decide that the player can decide the scale. We may give him the ability to scale the decal as he wants, right? Again, I don't know if you really want, because I want to. We want to have a game that looks like conceived altogether. Looks like consistent in the look and feel. And if you allow people to just scale the decals as they want, it may become pretty. We may go pretty out of hand, right? But I think that before how the player, I think this is where, which is basically the same of this one, right? So I think is which kind of decals we want to have, which kind of decals we want to have, and the second one is on which objects, items we want to apply decals, right? So these are these are two different questions actually. Then how the player will add the decal in terms of the position, and then the other thing is do we want them to, how the player is obtaining the decal, right? Because this one there is obviously a whole world of marketing possibilities behind this. Like most of the games out there are having you pay for it. So you want a specific symbol, you pay like, I don't know, €1 and it's getting applied, to your character. So we need to think, how do you obtain this? Do you obtain it through a quest? Is automatically obtained? Everyone can do it at any time, or there is a kind of a progression, right? So is there any idea of progression and like ranking system, to obtain decals? That is something that we have to think about as well. Then I think the last, well, I don't know if it's the last one, but another one is the UI. So how the UI will look to select the decal you want, and to apply it. So it can be something as simple as having a list of decals and having a list of potential positions that are already predefined, but it can become, say, way more than that, being again a kind of a ranking system with all the possible decals you may have, or maybe like spawning rarely in some locations, that you obtain it also only at a certain time of the day or whatever, or a certain, in a certain occasions, or maybe they are given by game masters during events. I don't know. I mean, we have to think how we want to do it, but definitely it's a big. I mean, I think it may become a big part, of the game, because there are endless possibilities, and I feel that players really like this. I mean, it's very nice to have your symbol or whatever. Now, another thing that we should think if we want to have custom decals. My first answer would be no, just to avoid having decals that we don't really want to display. Like people drawing penises all around, but so I think a custom decal is a bit risky, because it may be very flashy. I mean, it can be can have colors that are not really matching with the rest of the game. Can be again some bad words or some writings that we don't want to show. I mean, can be anything, and I feel maybe we should not. We don't want that, but yes, right. I think that's a good idea. Yes, I think that for custom guilds, we can maybe for big guilds we can allow to submit their own design and we can approve it. And once it's approved, I think we can upload it into the game. That could be acceptable to me. So one thing that we may think is. The other thing is how can I customize my decal? So which is for sure scaling, but it could be also color, right? Because we may pretty easily, I think, apply a pass of coloring on top of the decal, so that the player can decide a color. Again, we have to, I don't know if we want to restrict it to a certain amount of colors or just have it fully, up to the player, completely up to the player. Yeah, scaling, color, potential rotation, I don't know what else. Also the number of decals you can apply, if it's like fixed number of decals or if it's like an infinite number of decals and such. So, and then yes, how we want the UI to look like. So that is pretty much what I would like to do. I don't think we can do all of this today, but we can, we can start. Yeah, the idea will be to apply. Let me see if I can find. I think it's where you said that you have uploaded some decals somewhere. I don't remember if you said that it was in the UART or it was somewhere else. I can check. Let me update the UART and see what happens. If there are some symbols here, well, it will take a bit because some of the stuff that is here is pretty big. Okay, so while it's updating, okay, so this I think is our mission. I don't know if we have a good picture for decals, but maybe we can create a picture as soon as we proceed. So first thing first, we need to decide on which Unreal Engine project to work. My suggestion will be not to work on the main plane shift project because it will take too much to just load and stuff. So I think we can simply work on a new project or the project that I made the other day for the water tests and the minigame test. I think that one should be a pretty good one. So let me go there. Real projects. What is it? Second, I'm on another screen at the moment. Real projects, no? Yes. It was called third person for, okay, I think it's this one. Maybe I already have it open. No, I have opened the main planship. So the main planship one I think I can close. Should be no big problem in closing it. We didn't do any changes. So this one is called third person 420. 420 is just the Unreal Engine release on which I created it. Hello Abdin, how are you? I think they added a new chat system on Restream, but I really don't know how to use it. I think that I never tried. So let me see if we can enable it. There is a new embedded chat system or something like that that is available. Just need to find out. One second, I'm searching. First of all, I have to search my access to that. Okay, I found it. One second, I'm just logging in on the website, and I'm now searching the way. Where is the chat? Here it is. Chat. Communicate with your audience without any limits. Download for Windows, download for Mac. So there is also a download. Like you can. Okay. We can try this. 72 megabytes. Okay. I'm just downloading this to see what is it. I never used it. Is the Restream chat, which should enable us to have like embedded chat into the window, I think. I don't know, I never tested it. Sorry I'm doing this test, but as you know, my stream is not really an educational stream. It's more you watching what I'm doing, you know. So we have our login here. And he wants me to select this. Okay, the chat is ready to display messages. Okay, what does it mean? Please enter a message, say hi. Okay, it seems that he's sending it to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Did I type anything in YouTube? I don't know. It seems that in YouTube it seems to be empty actually, but this is a message from the stream chat. Actually, I don't see it in YouTube at all. Let me try to do the opposite. Hi from YouTube. No, this thing is not working at the moment. Unless I need to connect it somehow. Why say stopped? No, it seems it's not connected at the moment. Any one of you use this? I don't think so, because you are not. Let me try maybe just the web version, because this version doesn't seems to work properly. Let me try just the No. This thing is not. I don't know. I have to test it offline because at the moment it's not working. Okay, who cares? I will open up both Twitch and I will open up both Twitch and YouTube chats, and so I can just look at it. Okay, which is probably easier. It's probably easier. Okay, so let's go. Anyway, so let's use this. Like this example file. This is the one where we did all the water simulation, you know, if you remember, and the yes, waterfall simulation the other day, and we also created this small pool where we can jump in, and when we are in, let's say, we get a different effect of the, like if we are underwater, you know. So we can use this one. Simple enough. I think it works already. And I think at the beginning what we will do, maybe we will try to apply a decal just on this cube, just to learn the basics, and maybe we can color this cube somehow with a material. So let's do it like, let's have it like a gold material, yeah, something like that. And we will so now we have a gold cube. It looks pretty cool, by the way. I want to take it. I want to take it. I want to have it in my hands. So we can try to apply a decal here, right? And okay, it's why he's saying that he made a new folder in UArt, UArt weapons things decals. Okay, here it is. So I think we can get a few. Okay, decals. There it is. Oh, very nice. So that is what I'm watching, by the way. Bronze doors, slangs, shadow squadron, perfect. Perfect, exactly what we needed. So this could be. So let's move this into our project. Let's make a new. So we have maps, we have blueprints. I think we can make under third person CPP. We can make a new folder and just call it decals. Okay, so for now we don't care too much about this project because again it's a kind of a sample project. So we're just playing with it. Okay, so these are our emblems. These are just textures. So now I don't know if I have to create material for it. Probably yes, but we will learn about it. So these are our decals that we want to apply. Okay, good. So we can have specific material. Okay, so let's learn about decals. Decals. Okay, I already read part of this, but let's just go through it quickly again. The basic decals are basically materials that are projected into the mesh. Okay. Which is nice. So if you want to create a new one, you have to go under all classes and click on the first decal. Okay, I think we can do this. We can do decal. So it's called the fair decals. Decal actor contains a dealer component which can be used to render material modification on top of existing geometry. Okay, perfect. So do I need to? Okay, we will have to do all of this by code, but for now, let's say that we don't care. So we do it by editor. Okay, so if I try to put a decal, it's something like that. Holy moly! Okay. So I guess my decal has a number of. So it has decal sides. Sides, what sides mean? Sides is the actual pixels, or seems to be the actual sides of the decal. So we need to decide the sides. I would prefer to have decal size in local space. I don't understand too much what Z is gonna do for me. I mean Z, okay, so then what about Y? I'm a bit confused here. I'm a bit confused. Okay, so there is also deepness. Ah. So Y and Z are, so if I do like 128 by 128, it is actually the sides of the D. Okay, let's do it smaller than this though. Let's just do something that is, I don't know, 64 by 60. Okay, something like that fits into my design. Now, what happens if I want to? What happens if I want to rotate this though? Can I just rotate this thing 90 degrees and move it here? Yeah, it seems that the rotation kind of works. So it seems it's not a problem. Okay. Decal material. So we need a material. We can associate directly a texture. So I cannot go like lang something. No. I have to create a material for this. So let's take this one and create a material out of it. And for now, let's try to set this one as our material. Okay. I think I should save all, otherwise it doesn't recalculate stuff. Padding color. I don't know if this image is. I don't know if this image is just alpha or it actually has some stuff associated to it. Texture sample. Let me just try something else. If I create a linear color, can I create just a linear color? And no. Wait a second. Let me try this. Why? Why stays black? Oh, okay, it's not black. Let's see what happens if I do this. It stays black. I don't know exactly what is the deal with that particular texture. Still calculating it, or maybe I need to set it as deferred decal. Why is completely black? I don't know how the texture was created. Maybe the texture is just okay. Let me do something else, because I think we may have another issue here, that this texture was created just as a set up opacity with translucent using the alpha and change material type to the third decal. Okay, the third decal I did, but so I should use this one to opacity instead of base color, is what you're saying? The alpha channel, taking only the alpha channel. Okay, I understand what you mean. So I take only the alpha texture sample. So this should be the alpha should be this one, I think. Yeah, I did translucent blend mode and translucent, right? But I don't see a result. But you know what? I mean, I don't really care. I mean, in my case, I mean, I don't really care that this is alpha, not alpha. I don't. At the moment, I don't care about the drawing itself. So I think we can just take like a color decal, and that's it. So I don't care too much. Well, the best would be to have it as just as an alpha, but the problem is that I cannot easily apply it here. I'm trying to put my color back in, but this color for some reason is not staying the way I want it to be. So this is basically a constant color, and okay, give me a second. Let me try to just disconnect this. So if I just put a standard color, I want to see it as pink, right? So I don't know why at the moment this is not saving it as pink. Let me close it and open it again, like all the nice compiling shaders. Okay, it's compiling like 1 million shaders. Boom. Why is it not showing up? What is the problem, boys? Why every time I change this is recompiling shaders? I need this guy at a small each. Let me do something else. Let me create a new material from scratch, okay? Which is probably better. No, not this one. Let me create just a new material from scratch. 1 second, so it's probably easier. Okay, can I see my ping thingy? Okay, I see it. Nice. So now, if I want to add our sample texture, right? And I want this texture to be this one. Okay, up to here. Okay, at least we have a pink ball. I think, I don't know, whatever happened, something bad happened with the other material. I don't know what, but so if I connect this to base color, it should not do anything. Okay, and that's fine. So I think this is what we are expecting. If I move it to the fur decal, let me just see what happens. I'm not really seeing it. Maybe the preview for the fur decal is not working as expected. Seems there is no information here. Okay, like this it works. So basically, yes, the last one, which is the alpha, should be connected to the opacity, and now it starts to work. The only problem is that when I change this from, okay, and this is kind of working. The only problem is when I'm changing this from surface to decal, it basically disappears. So that's what is happening. If I go to fur decal, now here it disappears. Now here it kind of disappears. I don't know why. Let me try to keep it surface like it is and see what happens if I apply it to my decal, okay? Because now we have this material. Let me just rename it. So let's rename it to decal test 1 2 3. Typical name for a decal. And let me just search for decal test 1 2 3. Okay, let me see what happens if I apply this. basically nothing. Why? I still see the old picture. Let me do a save all. Let me do play. Doesn't care. Oh wow, my character is somehow affected by that. It's pretty bad. I mean, why my character became stone? Seems that my character is kind of affected by the decal. Okay. Well. Okay. Okay, so like this does nothing. Let's put it as the fur decal type. Yes, right, like you were saying. Yeah, I was just doing a test to see what it was doing with surface, but the problem is that I lose the preview, you know? So I lose the preview here. I totally lose the preview. Okay, I see the preview only here. The problem I have is that it seems that this decal has some... Look at that. He has some projection space, you know? So if you... if I define it like I define it here, so it's not exactly, you know, attached, but is like starting from here, so it's not exactly on the surface. Everything that is in front of it is kind of, you know, so maybe if I put it like here, so like perfectly on the surface, then it will not affect my character anymore, potentially. Still a bit though, still a bit. I can see a bit of pink, you know, on my character at the moment. So it's like if it's projected, really. I don't know if you want this. I mean, I don't know if this is what we want, right? We don't want... I mean, we want the decal to be associated to this box. We don't want the decal to be... So let me try something. What if I use... so this box is this. What if I take my decal and I put it as a sub-object? So decal actor is now a sub-object of this box. Okay, so I put it here in the hierarchy on the right, if you say, that is a sub-object of it. So just to stress the idea, let's try to move it again a bit far, and now let me play and see if it affects me. No, it still affects me. So it doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. Is always in the space. I don't like this. I really don't like this. I really don't like this. The fact that it's 3D position but is not specific to an object is so annoying. Let's say the benefit is that if you have multiple objects that you want to affect, it will work, right? So if I have this cube but at the same time I also have another cube, it will, which is next to it, I could splash this decal on both, which is nice, but at the same time, that is not what we want. That is not what we want. Let me see if there are any properties, because for now we didn't check too much the properties. Maybe there is a property for that. So there is a sort order, a fade screen size, fade start delay, phase duration, destroy owner after fade, decal sides, rendering visible accurately, then blah blah blah, tags, cooking, LOD, assets user data. Okay, doesn't seems to be much. The only thing I know, because I read it, is that you can exclude certain meshes to receive decals. So, but the problem still remains, you know, with a dynamic world and people moving around. I don't want my decal to go on top of another guy, right? That would be pretty bad. That would be pretty bad. Okay, let's continue to read what he's saying. Let's continue to read what he says. But it is basically an actor. So the way we did it now is basically a separate actor into the scene, which is projecting this image. Like if I put it, let me see, if I put it far away, what happens? If I put it too far away, okay, because there is the size of the decal. Okay, so if I say that x is 0 or 1 or whatever, well, maybe 1 is too little, but let's say that this 0, I said 0, maybe 0 is too little. Okay, if I say 1, because he has a, you see that he has a certain deepness, you know, so now his 1 is as big as this. If I say like 40 is a box, right? Is a box which is as big as this. So maybe the trick is only to set it as we did. So to set it as 1, and then put it, you know, next to the exactly where the thing is. So now I guess it will not splash me anymore. Yeah, it doesn't splash me anymore because there is no deepness to it. Okay, I understand. But if for any reason my hand, yeah, like that, it goes through it. Now, unfortunately, let me remove the collision from this box so that this box is not colliding. Generate overlap, blah blah blah, USSD, collision preset, let's say overlap all. Okay, so this thing should not collide anymore, should not block me anymore, so I should be able to go through it. Okay, so if I'm here, well, no, actually it seems is not, well, somehow, but let's say that it's very, very hard to see if it's affecting me, so I think it's okay. I mean, I think this way it's okay. So if we keep the decal like very, very small, no, very small is not the right word, but anyway, we don't give him any deepness, so the deepness of 1, then probably it's fine, right? Then probably it's fine. So with a deepness of 1 is okay. The problem will be what happens if this box moves. If this box moves, I think the decal will stay as where it is at the moment. I think we can try, but I have the feeling that obviously this one will not move with him. Even if now one is the child of the other, so potentially if I move this one, yeah, the decal is following me. Yeah, the shadow is not following me because I think this guy has a static lights and so has to be recalculated. But if I move this guy, I think it should be okay. I can try to move it. So if I do something like, well, first of all, this thing should be movable. This thing is not movable at the moment. Let's make it movable. And then let's say that this guy has a tag, component tag, actor tag. So I add a new tag and I call it move cube. Okay, so this guy would be called move cube. So when I press, let's say that I go into my third person character, is this one the blueprint? Because I think we had 2, right? Seems so. It seems it's this one, yes. So let's say that I want, when I press a certain key, for example, when I press, I don't know, let's do the T key, let's do T, okay. When I press T, I want to move the cube. So to do this, I need to get all actors with tag, and my tag is move cube. And then when I have this one, I do a kind of a get 0 because we know we have only 1. And then with this guy we do set location, something like that. Set actor location, and we just get the actor location, and we do actor location plus 10 in whatever direction. Vector plus vector, no, vector plus int, and well, maybe vector plus vector is a bit better. We will go like z10, and let's try just z10. Okay, so whenever I press T, whenever I press the letter T, in theory my cube should move 10 to the left, or to whatever. Sweep, let's see. Okay, if I press T, yeah, it's moving. Is the decal moving? Yeah, for some reason the shadow is not following him, but actually the decal is following him, which is nice. The decal is following him. Okay, let me just check if we don't put it as a child. So if I remove, it is my cube. Let's say that my decal actor, I move it outside. Okay, so it's now no more a child of that. Let me see if when I press T, what happens. Yeah, exactly. My decal disappear. I mean, my decal is still there, but since he has nothing to splash on, yeah, he's splashing a bit on me. If I exactly go there, you see there is a bit of a pink. So in this case, the decal stays in this location, and he's coloring myself a bit. Okay. If the decal is a child, then things work better. If the decal is a child like this, then it works okay. Right? It works okay. Disappears. Okay. I'm not fully convinced it is the right way, because actually having an actor just to splash a texture seems a bit stupid to me, but hello Hammy. You're saying I read before to add a detail to mesh. You need to use mesh decal. I guess in the same you're using now. I guess this doc can rearranging common and rearranging material mesh decals. Okay, mesh decals. I think I can check that as well. Yeah, I can check that as well. Okay, so let's see what other things the guide says. Okay, so it's saying you can apply it. Yes, in this case you see that depending on the size, he applies it to different surfaces. Okay. Then there is decal blend modes. This example demonstrates the available blend modes in decal can use. Different blend mode can change the way the decal affect the surface. Okay. So within the material you can have translucent, stain, normal, emissive, volume distant function. Wow, there is a million ways you can do it. Plus lighting you can have. Okay, I mean, I don't know if we care about this at the moment, but what it's saying is that if I go under decals and I go in my material, let's delete this other material which was not working anyway. So if I go into my material, there is material decal blend mode. Okay, this decal blend mode which can be set to all of this. So let me try stain. I just changed it to stain. Let's see if it makes any difference. Well, it's not pink anymore. It's more red than pink. So I don't know why I changed color, but anyway, it looks pretty cool. Anyway, it looks nice. I mean, I like it. guess it makes no. Yeah. Anyway, we have different blend modes, and then I don't know. An artist can decide what is the better way. Then mask decal. Mask decal. In this example, we show how to decal can make use of both opacity mask and normal maps. The decal material uses a decal blend mode of translucent, meaning it can accept value from transparency by feeding a texture in. This creating a logo. We control the shape, where we also have the power to add a normal map, which gives the decal more of a solid feel as opposed to looking at the paint and the projection shoot first. No. I understand. So you can. I mean, in this material, I guess I can plug the same to normal and see what happens. But you can, you can pass in a normal map, and this will bump a bit. I mean, I don't know. It became black. Don't see any bump, but it's fine. I don't know. I mean, at the moment we are not too much interested in the type of material because we can, we can change it later on. Projection on multiple surfaces. Yes, well, this I have seen because like he was projecting on my character, right? See how they can project on multiple surfaces. Okay, so yeah, it can project into multiple surfaces, which is nice, but not what we need. So we never need this. I think that for us, that is a problem. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing for us. Receive decal off. This example show how you can turn off decal specific meshes. Yeah, this one I've seen. So basically, you can say that a specific object is not receiving decals, and so you see here the blue ball, which is not receiving the decal, is actually not affected by the Unreal Engine logo. So the Unreal Engine logo is not applied to this. The problem is that it is a global setting, so you set it on and off, and it will receive or not receive all the decals, right? Which, I mean, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Okay. This I don't care. Sort order. I guess you can have multiple decals affecting one surface, and you can decide the order. Okay, fine. And then you have animated decal material, like you can rotate the decal and manipulate. Yeah, he's an actor, so being an actor, you can manipulate, his position, rotation, and anything else. Like if he's an actor, so I think it's fine. You can do whatever you want with it. Yeah, the only problem is that he's actually an actor in the scene, which is projecting stuff. So, and he has his sides, So I don't think I really like at the moment the way this thing is because I feel it's not what we need. Will the shadow remain there forever until I recalculate the line? Yeah, probably yes. I think I have to go and do like build lightning again, and then the shadow will move. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Lightning build fails, won't fail kick off. Okay, this is something that it doesn't like, but who cares? Now I was just trying to test if rebuilding the lights would make this shadow you see there on the ground go back in place, but we don't care about that anymore at the moment. So fine. I think we have our decal applied, which by the way change color based on the position, which is a bit weird, but okay. It becomes red or black based on how do I rotate this thing. Now, is there anything else on decals on this tutorial? No, there is nothing else. Amy, you were saying there is something like mesh decal? Is it different than is it different? I have no idea. So what is this thing? Record file. In order to learn the following guide, you need to download, extract, and import the following FBX and texture. For me how to do this, please check blah blah blah. Required FBX. Download enabling DB buffer decal for your project. Edit menu, project settings. Under engineer, locate lighting category contains various lighting option. And debuffer decals. Now look at debuffer decals using lighting features. I mean, I don't care about lighting features. Creating a basic deferred decal. In the content browser, add a new button and show the material, create a material, make sure blah blah blah. Now select the material, blah 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 blah, material domain, deferred decal, blend mode, translucent, decal blend mode, debuffer, translucent roughness. Now you need to set up your material. Now, once you okay. Fine. We don't care. Before finishing up, we need to wait to control the offset of the decal geometry from the base mesh to prevent artifacts. Add the following node to material graph and plug the output to multiply the worst offset position. Camera direction vector offset multiply. That is very obscure to me. I don't understand what is this. World position offset. Probably wants this material to be slightly detached from the. No, I don't know. It's just a material. With your deferred decal complete, place the static mesh. So in this case, it's doing it with. He's doing it differently. So basically, what he's doing here is taking a mesh, which can be also my box, right? And then in the material, is adding a new element. No, is having probably an object which already has multiple materials. Let me test. Real pro. No. I need the other Unreal project. I need the other Unreal project, which is this one, third person, whatever, 450. Let me save it here. Did you open it? There is this FBX. Okay, let me try what is this thing. Let me try what is this, huh? Let me put it. Let me do a temp directory, whatever. So I think the way it does it here is that he has 2 material slots. Let me import the wall set. Which is the same anyway. Okay. So this is a kind of a rock. It's concrete. He's using a material concrete, but the material concrete for some reason is not pointing to the right texture, it seems to me. Like he didn't import properly these textures. Material static mesh. It only has 1 mesh though. But what is this thing? What is this thing? This is a static mesh. There is only a few places where, I don't know. If I need another static mesh like this on top of this, that would be pretty stupid. If I need to have a mesh on top, no, I don't think that is what I wanted to do. Okay, let me read it again. First I need to enable this, because I think if I don't enable this, it would never work. Okay, understand. DB buffer decals is already enabled actually. Under Lightning, DB buffer decals is already enabled in this project. So, so I need to create this one. Huh? Okay. I guess I should follow the example. So it's saying create a new material, okay, and then with this one we call it concrete decal mat, okay, concrete decal mat, and then it's saying here to put texture sample, texture sample, and to put like 3 of those, and then it's saying to use the 3 that we have here. So they are called, what is the name? T-mesh decal, T-mesh mesh decal. Okay, so we can take this one, this one, and this one. Okay, just try to have it in the same sequence. Yes, we have it in the same sequence, and then it's asking basically to connect base color, opacity, and normal. So base color, opacity, no, I have to set it as translucent, right? I have to set it as the fur decal actually. The fur decal translucent, yes. So the fur decal translucent, and decal blend mode, DB buffer, translucent color, roughness. Okay. So 1 for each. Okay, so we have this thing. So we have this material done. Then for roughness, he wants the 0.7 value. For roughness, he wants a 0.7 value. Okay, 0.7. This is just an example, but anyway. And then he wants the camera direction vector, camera direction vector, and he wants this to be blended with an offset. Multiply. World position offset. Camera offset. No. Where do I get this offset? Doesn't tell me. Huh? Offset. Is it a variable that he wants to add or what? I mean, the multiply is not a problem, I guess. But the offset, I mean, I don't understand. We can just do this, right? 0.6. Okay. I don't know why it is it is a parameter, because probably added a variable. He made this a variable, and he did something like that, and then he probably upgraded this to a variable, but it's okay. In our case, I think it's fine. So he did that. Okay, it's fine. And then place the static mesh SM decal. Plus the static mesh. Well, actually, when I imported it, 2 pieces came out, which I don't know if it's what we wanted, but actually 2 pieces came out. I can try to import it again and see if there is a better way to. So skeleton mesh, no. General collision, who cares? Yes. Static mesh, dot group, blah, blah, blah. So remove the generator, just buffer, line engineering, you want to combine meshes, no. Transform vertex to M, yes. I don't know if this combine meshes, because it seems that it's coming out as kind of 2 pieces, right? Let me see if I do combine meshes. Yeah, combine meshes seems it worked a bit better. No, even if I have now zeta fighting due to the 2 meshes being one, so I don't know. If I apply this to that, now wait a second. Then what do you ask me to do? Blah 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 blah. Which including for the base mesh material, you can assign any material. Apply the material and mesh equal to element 0. We have this concrete decal mesh. Just even a basic. I mean, basic I can go gold, which is always nice. The problem is that it seems that my decal is not doing shit. I don't see any decal here. Maybe I need to save it. Let me try to remove this warp offset position and see. Right click and convert to parameter. Okay. Nice. Yeah, but so what? I mean, it's not really showing anything. I mean, I don't see, unless my base color is, I can put it white, you know, I can have it white so it's not affecting anything. But it seems that my decal color, which is this one, I mean, I can plug in again the multiply on the word offset, but it seems it's not. Also, the fact that I'm having a white, fully white color here, it doesn't make me feel too confident. So at the moment, material domain is deferred decal, blend mode is translucent, and decal blend mode is DB buffer translucent color number and roughness. So which is exactly what the guide asked me to do. Be sure to use the blue channel. Okay. I think I messed up the opacity. Because it said be sure to use the blue channel, and I didn't actually care about that. For the normal map. Something is happening. If I go close, it disappeared, which is pretty bad, but something definitely happened. I have no idea why if I go through, it disappeared. What the fuck? What is doing? What is this thing? Holy moly! I mean, yeah, we have the thing, but is disappearing, boys. It's kind of disappearing. Let me try to delete this. Let me try to import it again. When you had the two separate pieces, so without the combined meshes. But if I do this, you see two pieces come out. One as, I mean, this one looks like the map. I mean, looks like the yeah. You know, and I don't think that this is gonna work because if I apply my decal stuff, yeah, exactly. So probably the original mesh is a bit stupid. Yeah. The original mesh is a bit stupid. It doesn't really work as expected. I mean, this import is not really working as we expected. If I do combine meshes, it's a bit better, but I don't understand if we have a lot of Z fighting going on. So it seems that instead of being a part of the mesh, it seems to be like two meshes one on top of each other. So I think that's pretty bad. I think we just need to assign new material element, but I don't think we can do it here. I think we need one object with two materials. So that's basically the point. But I think I understand. I think I understand anyway the way it's supposed to work. Now we should just have one object with two materials, and you are able to apply the decal to that material. Yeah, it was the opposite. It was exactly the opposite. So this one should be like, and we said gold, and this one should be okay. The only thing is why is doing this shit? I mean, why is doing this weird effect? Let me remove this word offset position. Okay. Removing the word offset works much better. Yeah. Removing the word offset works perfectly. I don't know why they ask you to add this word offset really. On gold, by the way, is very nice. On gold looks perfect. Yeah, when you go through it with the camera, it's a bit weird, but it's okay. So what did we learn? Because I don't think I understood what we did. What did we do? We have one object with two materials. These two materials are show me the wireframe of this. These two materials are applied in two different places, but man, this I could do also without decals, no? If I just take an object and I apply my freaking two materials, what is the point of this? I don't understand, boys. I don't understand. What's the point? What's the point? I'm missing something, I know. I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what I'm missing. No? Would be too nice, huh? Import FBX. This guy. Okay. And you see that is two geometries. Oh my god, Blender interface always makes me mad. What is this shit? It's two geometries, one on top of each other. It's not... doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense. This thing works anyway. If I do... if I change this material to be a standard material, I think it works anyway. It works exactly the same. So if I change it from deferred decal to surface, okay, and I save it like this, and now it's just surface, has nothing to do with decals, works exactly in the same way, it's identical. Now it flickers a bit, I don't know why it flickers a bit. Maybe for this one it needs the -0.6. No idea. But -0.6, 0.6 is making it worse. 0.6 is making it worse actually. Because it seems that it's like Z fighting a bit. Okay, I gave him a -0.1. So what is the difference, boys? Why we did this example? I don't understand. So now this is a normal surface where I applied my texture, and it's working the same way as the decal. So what is the freaking decal thing doing for me? Nothing in this example. Does it look different? Like that it looks somehow different? I don't know. I don't know, maybe the translucency is different. No, looks the same. I don't know. What is this thing doing for me? Instead, I set surface, okay? If I set the fur decal, and I remove this word position because the word position with the decal is making a mess. I mean, it's exactly the same. The only thing I see is that when I like move the camera like this part just in front of me was disappearing when it was surface, like the geometry was clipped out, while now it kind of stays. So in that sense, it looks a bit better, but I'm still very confused. I'm still very confused. I'm still very. I mean, and also we have another big problem here. That the big problem is that this map is UV mapped on the object, which is exactly what we don't want to do. We don't want to UV map my decal, on top of a full object. We don't know what the object will be. So let's say we want to do more like this than like this, because this one is not UV mapped. This was just as a side, and then you apply it, right? While this one is basically another texture on top of my object, which is UV mapped to this cube. But if I try to do the same and put it here, it will look bad. And also here I have some additional geometry, which is Z fighting like crazy, by the way, which is totally stupid. So I have some additional geometry to add on top. So I will need to define a geometry for this. I don't know, man. Why I need to do that? I need to add a geometry and then splat the geometry with a picture and then put it into my mesh. I don't know, man. I don't want to have the geometry. I just want to have something that splats properly. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if this is the best, but so what is the problem of this one? The problem of this one, well, he's an actor. And so we need to somehow have this actor attached to my object, and he has to be a child of this object. He needs to have a specific volume, and so he needs to calculate if what is the object that is inside that volume. So I think that is costing some computation, computation time, because to calculate if he's in it, I mean, it's not for free. So it's not just blending two materials like this one. This one is probably cheaper, because we are just blending the two materials, but actually it's blending it on additional geometry, which is not what we want to do. This one, it has to calculate if the volume of my decal is actually affected. So for example, if I rotate it like 45 degrees like this, so look at my decal now, it's like is like rotated a bit, okay? And so in this case, you're not splatting anything on that surface because you're just splatting like the intersection, right? If I rotate it back, then there is a point where it's perfectly perpendicular to my surface, and then it's starting to splat something. I think I don't like one method, I don't like the second method either, so the decal component affect only the parent actor? No, it affects any actor. So if I make it like we were doing before, we were not here probably, but if I make it bigger, so if the size is 64, like this, and I go, so now I make it very big, and I go here, then it splats on me, you see, it's on my leg. Just because there is a volume, there is a certain volume and direction that it splats to. So like now, this decal has this big green, I don't know if you can see it because it's a bit small, but is a big green box of about 64 centimeters going out. So it splats to anything that is in this direction, that is in this volume, whatever it is in this. So if I move this other box here, it will splat on it. That's it. So it would be like this. So it's actually projecting the decal. It's actually projecting the decal in that volume. Boys, I really don't like any of the two techniques, to tell you the truth. Probably the first one is the easiest because we can just generate this decal as an actor, so and make it a child of our character dynamically in blueprints, and we can generate that actor and splat it. So basically we will have one actor already made, right? So I could have a new actor, which is this thing. No. I can have a new actor, but this actor should be a child of the fur decal. Decal actor. This will be my decal. So now this decal will have as the problem is that here I cannot I don't have the material exposed, right? I'm thinking if we can generate it, then yes, I can. It is decal material. So I can assign a decal material. I can assign this. I can I rotate this thing. Cannot rotate it. But basically, this will be my decal that I can apply, you know, whenever whatever I want. And is it doing anything? Doesn't look like. Yeah, the size was not correct, I think. The rotation is not correct. Yeah, exactly. So we could create our own decal and like this one and apply it kind of by code, you know, so that I generate. So when the character is adding a new decal, I'm just generating an actor of this type. I'm attaching it to the character. I'm attaching as a child of the character, and I'm rotating it and scaling it as I want, because I can definitely change the scale, right? Make it smaller, rotate it. Yeah, but if I rotate it that way, it's kind of a mess. It's only one rotation I can use, but anyway, the point is that I can rotate it as I want. So yeah, I mean, we could do it this way. We just need then to figure out, you know, because this thing will have to stay within my thingy. So if my thingy rotates, let's say this thing doesn't rotate, so that's already the first problem. So if I rotate my character, the decal doesn't stay in the right position. The decal has his own life, you know, has his own position, his own rotation, his own. So we need to. Well, the problem is because he's not a child, though. Now he's not a child of my SM mesh. If I put it inside as a child of a mesh and I rotate my main, I think he should rotate. Yes, he's rotating with him, I guess. Yes, he's rotating. Okay, he's rotating. So if I make it as a child, it should stay. Where it is. And you see the other decal, like this one, which is not a child, is then splatting differently, like this. But my decal is staying as we want. It's staying as you want. Is this the way to go? Is this the way to go? Well, at least it works. I don't know if I really like it, but at least it works. I don't know if I have like 300 of these decals. What happens, right? And also we need to position it compared to the base mesh, but that I think would be okay. I mean, the position and the basic position and rotation, I think would be fine. I'm not fully sold into this thing, and this one I think I missed something. I think I don't understand what is this. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Because I mean, if the trick is to add geometry on top and specify on that geometry that we have another texture, I mean, what is it? You know, it's not this. It's not this thing. This thing is doing something else, but is in this example is explained, I think, the bad way. Because it should not be other geometry. And Zwei, you were saying that the alternative is to lerp into an overlay texture inside one material, but you have to follow the existing UV mapping. Yeah, exactly. I mean, following the existing UV mapping is impossible because whenever you have, I mean, the UV mapping, it cannot be the same UV mapping because if I have an armor, of any kind and shape, um, if I have whatever here with all these things, blah blah blah, UV mapped, and I have to move this around, I cannot because I will be bound to this UV space, and it's not what we want. So he has to move. I mean, or I can move the UV, and maybe I can, but then we'll be like finding the right UV place. And sometimes, UV are stupid. Like you may have an armor which is split into two, like this is the front and this is the back, right? But maybe here in the middle they are not perfectly seamless. So if that happens, then also your decal will not be seamless, and it would be a kind of a mess. No, I don't feel that this is the way. I don't feel that this is the way. Just a bit. So it's other games really just creating this actor and positioning it, because for us will not be too hard. For us will be like, okay, I have my shield. Okay, so we will have our let me think. The shield is what? The shield is just a mesh. Huh? Well, the shield is a static mesh, yes, but the shield is a static mesh, but the shield is a static mesh, but it is anyway attached to an actor. No, because I'm thinking where we will have to attach this decal to, right? Because I don't know if an actor can be used as a component, as a child of, because these ones, like my cube, right? My cube in reality is an actor, is a static mesh actor with a static mesh component inside, right? So our character, our shield, can I put a shield here and say, do we have any geometry meshes? Yeah, like this cube, okay? But this cube, I cannot put an actor as a child of this cube. I'm a bit confused now. I don't remember how we do it. Let's open up our main project a second, because I think I need to review it and see, because can we add this actor as a child of a shield, for example, or a weapon, or a piece of armor? And by the way, everyone in the world has the same quest. So I guess that if I search the internet, probably we'll find a solution. But let's just reason a bit on it still more, and then I will just search the internet, okay? But because everyone has exactly the same problem, so it's not that it is specific to us. So what I was saying is that when I have my character, right, I have my character blueprint. My character blueprint is this guy. And this guy is made of a mesh. So for example, if I want to add a decal to his head, because I want to have a tattoo, on his face, I will have to add like a decal as a child of the head mesh, which now is a huge box, so it's basically splatting on everything. Now, for example, for tattoo will never work. I mean, for round surfaces will never work this way. No. This is not what we want, boys. For round surfaces, it will never work. There's nothing to say. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. Where do I have my decal sides? I see. Okay, let's say that I make it. Let's say that I make it proper, okay? But the problem remains. So even if I have this exactly in the right spot, it will never splat like the UV of my face, right? We'll never do it. So it's just splatting everything. You know, okay, we can exclude hair maybe, and so let's assume this is not in the hair, but this is not following the UV of my character face. So, like for tattoos, we will have to follow the UV of the face. Because if we go back to the other project, and instead of a box, I have a sphere. This is not working, right? Can I have a sphere? Right. If I have a sphere and this sphere is as big as this, and this sphere is made of gold because we like gold a lot. Do we have steel? Oh, we have steel. Nice. And this decal, okay, this decal is a child now, this sphere. I mean, we will never be able to splat it properly. It will always splat like stupid like this, you see? It will always splat as stupid as this. Because is not using UV space, but is using 3D space. So I guess the question is if you want to have decals which are 3D space splatted or decals which are UV space splatted. And at the end, I think we want UV space splashed, because you see what it does? It cannot do anything different because it's in 3D space. So it works very well for blood stains. Like if you are shooting a guy and this guy is like splatting blood all over the place, this would be perfect because exactly what you want, you know. So you will have you will have these two thingies, one next to each other, which is your geometry, and this blood will splat like this. So you will see it partially on this, partially on the other one. Maybe, I don't know, there is a bit of an adjustment for the vertical thingy. But I think that is kind of what you want. But if you're speaking of a symbol, then no, because we don't want the symbol to be warped based on geometry, right? And the geometry can be, I mean, can be even worse. Like, can be like this rock. Can I duplicate this rock? If I duplicate this, and I try to splat on this thing, then the symbol will be completely warped, right? I mean, which doesn't mean it's bad, but like, you know, like here you see this part, which is obviously vertical compared to the symbol. It's just not splatting there because it's vertical. I mean, it's 90 degrees compared to the direction, right? So, is it good or bad? Is it good or bad? Is it good or bad? Well, the problem is that if we do it in UV, in this part, yeah, for the rock, I think it doesn't work in UV because this is a tile. I mean, if it is a tile and you do it in UV, you will see a million symbols, right? Ah, there is no solution, boys. There is no solution. Or anyway, there are different solutions. Like if you are tiling, you cannot really do UV space decals. If you are not tiling, I think it's fine. You can do UV, like a face of a character, the tattoo. I think it can be done that way. But if you do it, I don't know. What do you think? Do you have an opinion on this? I'm so confused. I don't have a solution. So if I put it under, where is my rock? SM Rock 4. Right? So now it stays with my rock. Well, in this case, it's not too bad, but as you can see, the areas where the rock goes like vertical, I mean, it turns like 90 degrees, then we splash the whole thing over. Like, so it's the same effect that you get when you are splashing on the wrong axis, you know, like here, right? So you're splashing on the wrong axis, and so it goes like this. And I don't know if there is a setting to say to the decal that it should follow the surface. If you had a way to say to the decal that it has to follow the surface, then it would probably be nice. Let me see if there is any property for that. Editor billboard scale. Use attached parent bounds. Editor only. Detail mode. Nah. Don't see any particular. Maybe it can be done in the material. if there is this word offset, maybe you can, while it's splatting, you can rotate, the material in a way that you can rotate the material in a way that it follows the surface. So that's why you're saying yes, decal is preferable because the UV map for tattoos overlay texture is fine because the face UV are fine, but symbols are more important than decal. Most of the shield are mapped symmetrically, so they want. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. So if you have a UV that is mapped symmetrically, and so a single point is affecting two parts of the geometry, you will see the symbol twice. You automatically will see the symbol twice, which is kind of annoying. Which is very annoying. We don't have a solution. We just have more questions. We just have more questions, boys. We just have more questions. Decals in UV space. Screen space deferred decals are a very popular technique. Baking decals to UV texture maps. Is there a real method of baking decals down to UV texture? It would be nice to be able to do this for, say, the mage effect, just baking down a black and white channel from a dynamically placed decal and have the texture wired down to the material tree and increment. And then place some stamp object to be 2D captured into a texture. The point is that you don't want the stamp to spread nearby UV's shells necessarily. There was a good way to generate a mesh that looked like the UV layout. This guy is saying you can do this. There are a few steps involved. Add function to vertex shader to all materials to unwrap mesh facing camera. Create a virtual projection into the unwrap mesh by using the word position excluding offset as the projection target. Wow. It would allow you to project it as if the mesh is not unwrapped. Apply the space to decal material. Use a render target to get to a scene capture IRS screenshot to render out the various buffers. What do you want is spread bake positional texture map UV layout of the mesh. They could dynamically add new projection into the mesh just by changing material parameters. I talked to Daniel W. It reminded me that they actually can do this without having a separate copy of your CAD. It's possible because a new feature that lets you modify the scene and use the render target. Have a scene capture 2D, follow your skeletal mesh. Set it to not capture every frame. After damage, change the material of your skeletal mesh to use UV and wrap material. Set And you can project your decal or blood splat, whatever you're using a sphere mask or a projection matrix. You can accumulate this into singular decals. Set your calendar here back to its default. Oh my god, why has to be so complex? Why has to be so complex, boys? Why has to be so complex? It is a very cool feature. I saw it on GG stream, but without an example, it's difficult to replicate. Yeah, I think so. It's also difficult to understand why I need to render in a different frame or different take and use scene render. I mean, using a scene render anyway is it's pretty crazy because it means that you are basically re-rendering the scene another time. So I don't know, boys. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, like this example when you see that you are splashing to a wall something like like a graffiti or something. That's pretty simple because a wall is a flat surface, you know. I mean, a flat surface. I mean, yeah. I mean, a flat surface easy. Flat surface easy. Or this one. Let me see. This is a kind of a blood thingy. Yeah, I put it on the ground. It looks like that. You see, so it's basically. It looks like. You know, it's a kind of a blood all over. Yeah, it's splatting all over, vertically, horizontally. So it's basically always using a flat surface to do the splat. This actually works very well for a number of applications, like blood all over the place. It looks perfectly because it's not it's not a special, it's not a special drawing or something very defined. Like here, he has a logo, and you see that with the logo is already messing up a bit, but because you see that it's exactly like the effect that we have. So it's splatting on the ground as well, but vertically. So it's like 90 degrees rotated and it's like looking bad. So the only way you have to do it right is, let me see if it does some workspace crazy stuff. No, it's not caring about it, I guess. So it's just working with opacity and making stuff a bit more. Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, for blood is perfect. But you see here on the left and right. Yeah, okay. He's saying, yeah, you have to move it and fix it, and yeah, this guy's just telling us that we can. By the way, it's not appearing for some reason. Okay, it's appearing now. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you make it as big as the flat surface, I mean, thank you that I know. That is kind of easy. In many cases, can be enough, you know. In many cases, can be enough. Um, So what, boys? So what? So should we surrender to flat surfaces? Because I mean, I mean, if we do in flat surfaces, I mean, we already have a solution, right? Um, Render target. This render target doesn't really. This render target doesn't really make me too happy. And this one is splatting a bit. I think we need. I think. So you say for shields and buildings we can use the fur decals. For clothing, if the symbol is small enough and doesn't wrap us on the side. And for face tattoo, we can use overlay texture for UV. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking as well. So to have like two ways, you know. My issue now, is that even assuming decals. Let's try on shield. Okay, so like that. Is there anyone having a problem with shields? No. No, I think that if we put shield into it, it's not really helping us. What is this? How to create your own custom decals and use level design game environment. Man, no. No, my only problem is wow, nice shield by the way. Very nice. Is it free? A shield ready for your game. Very nice.